Hello everyone, I am King Mac, and I would like to thank you all for watching this feature presentation on YouTube. Be sure to enjoy a hot fresh cheeseburger along with some french fries, a tasty milkshake, and a nice soft drink. Thank you for watching, and now here is our feature presentation of TTBurger game reviews on YouTube.
Welcome back, my friends! You are watching TTBurger game reviews here on YouTube. As we continue with more PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4 games and more here, we continue with episode 218, part 1 of 1. And today we look at a PlayStation 3 and it talks about life after death with the afterworld, the netherworld, and folklore, and more. We all know about life after death and etc., about the afterlife more, and we all ask the question about what happens and stuff. A lot of people believe different things and stuff, and we all have the question and stuff, and we find out when our time is up. And today we look at a game that talks about those said things, starring two unrelated characters that meet each other and go from there and have their own reason for being in the destination they need to be in the game and everything. And this was one of the first PlayStation 3 games I ever played. This was actually the fourth PlayStation game I ever played here. And look at it right here. This is Folklore on the PlayStation 3 exclusively by Japan Studios and more, released on October 9th, 2007. We have a lot to talk about here. Let's get started. Now, what we have here is an action-adventure with some RPG elements in and stuff where you level up. Like I mentioned, this was the fourth PlayStation 3 game I ever played known, and I played it on Christmas Day in the year 2007 when I got my PlayStation 3 for Christmas. Folklore's story is dark and basically takes place in this village in Ireland called Doolin that stars two protagonists, Ellen and Keats, both who come to the Doolin village for their own reasons. Ellen, the lead protagonist, arrives because she received a letter from her dead mother, thinking that she's still alive and waiting for her, and she wants to find out information about her past. And Keats works for a magazine as a journalist looking for a story, gets a distress call from a woman telling him to come to Doolin with a message saying fairies will kill her. When they arrive, they find a woman, supposedly Ellen's mother, brutally murdered, and they both learn of murders going on in the village. And these murders are also related to murders that happened 17 years ago. They meet a young woman named Suzette who knows the crazy stuff going on in Doolin, which may be linked to her family. Her brother died mysteriously when she was still in her mother's room with her father dying and stuff, and her mother went crazy. And of course also Dr. Lester, who pretty much just went nuts after caring for a little boy named Herbie, and the church was his clinic and stuff and everything. And there are a lot of crazy things going on in the village of Doolin, and it's up for Ellen and Keats to find out. Ellen wants to find out what happened in her past, has no memory of her early life. Then she meets Scarecrow, who is half human in the Netherworld filled with dead people that Ellen and Keats can speak to. Keats himself, who meets Belgate, who was a half human as well, similar to Scarecrow. They are told, in order to find out the mysteries of the murders of Doolin and for Ellen to find out her past and what happened to her mother, they must go to the Netherworld and defeat these beings called Folklore, which are used as your weapons, and you attack these folks and suck them up, and use them to fight with the six-axis tilt function, and you fight the main Folklore and stuff to restore peace to each realm and stuff like that. And doing so, you will reveal answers on what happened in Doolin, why all these people were murdered, what happened to certain people, and stuff going on with Ellen's past, and Keats trying to get a story for the magazine Unknown Realms and stuff. And they know Suzette and Harriet and the villagers and Dr. Lester know some along the way. The story is engaging, keeping you on the edge of your seat, figuring out what will happen next. The story is told through a mix of pre-rendered cutscenes which look really good, and while it is also told through visual novel scenes and in-game cutscenes where it shows the characters talking to their person. But I'll get to those in a little bit. The presentation, we have amazing graphics for a PlayStation 3 game released in 2007 to be exact. The character models look very detailed with facial expression and smooth animation, and even walking around and stuff, they look great. The village of Doolin looks scary and dark, adding to the theme of the game with the desolate fog and the clouds like lighting, and even when it gets dark, it adds to the horror factor to it, the tense factor that something is fucked up with the village. Especially seeing all the Netherworld creatures going around and talking to them and stuff. The only complaint about the graphics is the pre-rendered cutscenes are fantastic, but there's not a lot of them. The visual novel scenes look great, but there's no voice acting to them and they feel lifeless. In the in-game cutscenes where it shows two characters talking, they just no voice acting once again, it just shows their mouths moving while they gesture around a little bit. And sometimes you can see some slowdown when you are in the Netherworld, but the game still looks great, better than a lot of modern games out there. The sound, I gotta say, the sound would be great, but it is just average in my opinion. Voice acting is average, either hit or miss depending on your opinion. And while for me it is not bad, it's not good either, and there really is not much voice acting in the game. And most of the scenes are comic visual novels and in-game scenes with no voice acting to them, and knowing that this was a PlayStation 3 game, you expect to have more voice acting in it. The music was enjoyable, especially in Doolin at night and in the Netherworlds and stuff. It puts you in the moment where you know something fucked up is going on there. The gameplay is enjoyable, but there are some problems here. Like I mentioned, this is an action-adventure RPG where you spend time as Ellen or Keats trying to solve the mystery of the murders and solve the mystery of Ellen's past, and somehow link to the townspeople with the village, mainly Suzette and other people and more. You spend the daytime in Doolin exploring the area while looking for clues to figure out the murders and to Ellen's past and talking to the residents and for Keats to find a story about what happened to some of the people here and what is going on in the church, the lighthouse, and what happened to the lighthouse keeper Ryan or Dr. Lester or Hervey or this little girl named Cecilia and stuff. And in another world, you are tasked to defeating the Folklore to reveal the events and more. Fighting the Folklore is the main part of the game. These are like your weapons. If you defeat the Folklore, you can capture it using the 6-axis tilt function, one of the first games to utilize this. Once you capture them, you can use them to defeat other Folklore, but be careful. But be very careful though, certain Folklore can only take certain ones down. Be sure you know which ones to use properly, because they have the weaknesses and stuff. You can make things easier by finding fairy realm book pages and such as shows draws on how to defeat the Folklore, mainly the boss and stuff, which is badass and stuff. And capturing them is very satisfying. When you capture them, especially the big ones, you feel accomplished in the game. And there are tons of Folklore where you want to catch them all and stuff and such. It's like you can never get enough of the Folklore. You go to the Netherworld, you can speak to the fairy people who give you hints and advice and stuff, especially the fairy lord who will help you along the way, like your guide and stuff, along with Scarecrow and stuff like that, and Belgay and stuff. And you go to the Netherworld, like fight the Folklore, and they differ depending on which realm you are in and stuff. Like you got the Undersea Sea, which basically like a water one and stuff like that, and Warcade, which is like a warm one and stuff like that, and more and stuff. Just that adds variety to them definitely. And Ellen has like cloaks that she can use to help her throughout her journey and stuff. While Keats has this power that makes him invincible for a short amount of time and stuff. If you want to play the game like this, that's really cool there. You can play as Ellen and Keats in any order you like. If you want to play the game all the way through Ellen, but then go back as Keats, you can. But doing this makes it very disjointed because after chapter 5 or so of Ellen, you can't go to chapter 6 unless you go beat chapter 5 all the way up to Keats and stuff. But just doing it the way that I mentioned, that looks very disjointed and stuff. It makes it feel very, very disjointed. So just play Ellen with prologue and do the same with Keats. Then chapter 1 with Ellen, then chapter 1 with Keats, and then repeat, so on and so on. Ellen and Keats have their own special abilities, like I mentioned earlier. Ellen can use cloaks to find throughout the levels, and they can resist certain attacks like thunder and more. And can make her stronger against attacks and stuff. And I'm one of those people who tries to collect all the cloaks in Folklore. Keats has this power when his energy power meter is full, he can brutally attack and capture the Folklore and make them invincible for a short amount of time. And both characters have their own Folklore they can find that are exclusive to their campaigns. A lot of them are very cool looking stuff. When you collect them, it's very satisfying, and when you find clues to Ellen's past, it's also satisfying. Same with Keats looking for a story and more. The story is dark to where you want to keep playing to find out what's going on with the murders there. And you also have side quests you can do from the barkeeper's quest he gives you, and you can unlock some cool stuff like some extra cloaks for Ellen and stuff and more. A great game, now time for the negatives. Not much voice setting like I mentioned earlier. Going to the same place as both Ellen and Keats can get repetitive at times. The sound is a mixed bag, the frame rate issues, and sometimes captured Folklore can get frustrated using the 6-axis tilt function stuff because certain ones you have to capture a certain way, like bouncing, seeing that the 6-axis tilt controller in the middle, or shaking it, moving it left and right and stuff to capture it and stuff, and sometimes it doesn't respond very well. And just shaking up at the right time to do it too can get a little bit annoying because sometimes it doesn't work well. And that happens in the game at random times though and stuff, and you do not get potions or health you collect in your inventory and stuff. It's just like you just gotta go to the save feature, just collect like little like a potion to heal you right away, but you can't take them as items so like that. So, but still a fun game overall. Final thoughts there. If you liked the stuff about like the Netherworld and stuff like that, and the stuff about Folklore and stuff that's dark and stuff and keeps on the edge of your feet, Folklore is the way to go for sure. I give it a 9 out of 10 because the problems I have with it. It's a game that should not be overlooked if you like these type of games. But all I gotta say, if you like what you see here, subscribe, like the video, comment down below. Join my Discord group, TTBurger Gamers United, and my Facebook group, TTBurger Gamers Group, along with my Facebook page, TTBurger and Burger 88, so that's a like. But all I gotta say is Tony, peace and out. Have a great day, see y'all in episode 219, what we cover next. Stay tuned for that. Take care, everybody.
I'm sick of hearing and seeing all of the people whining. You want something good, then you better go put the time in. You get what you